All right, going through this blind 75 list, and we solving this problem called merge two sorted lists. It is a LeetCode easy. Let it load. The lists are sorted. Okay, you're given the heads of two sorted lists, list one and list two. Merge the two lists in one sorted list. This list should be made by splicing together nodes of the first two lists, meaning that you don't have to take any extra space. Just rearrange the two lists into a single list. Return the head of the merged list. Okay, so for 1 to 4, 1, 3, 4, we go this, and both are sorted. So for this, I do 1 and 1. Now I compare these two. Doesn't matter whichever. So now I move this to here. I compare these two, and I wanna take this 1, 1, and then 2, 3, 4, 4. So the general idea is move one step ahead in every node, and move one step ahead in one of the lists, right? So there are okay. I get the basic idea, right? Essentially, take the smaller one and keep moving forward. So take the smaller one. So between list one and list two, take the smaller one. Okay. Uh, so to begin with, you also have to return the final list. So one head has to be there, and you want to return that head, right? That's for sure. So let's do first. Let's call it head, or let's say we will return list one. Okay. So how about that? Okay. Now, what if list one is the bigger guy? Then you swap list one and list two. Fair enough. Or rather, if list one dot if it could also be that one of them is null. So if list one equals to null, or is there a thing like they cannot be null? List one list two is sorted in non-descending order. Number of nodes can be zero. Yes, if list one is null, uh, or your list two is not null, and list one's val is greater than list two dot val. In all of these cases, you might want to do merge two lists with list two list one instead, right? So now when I'm here, I know the list one is a smaller list, or yeah, I know that for sure now. So now I know list one is a smaller list. Now I have to compare between list one's next and list two. These are the two guys that I have to now compare. So if okay, now while list one is not equals to null, or list two is not equals to null, while there is at least one non-empty list, while there is at least one non-empty list, and I'm calling list one as the one which is I have already taken. List one is something that is already taken. So now between list one's next and list two. So if list one dot next is equals to null, or if list one dot next is equal to null, or basically do I have to swap? That's the thing. Basically now if list two is null, then topic is over. Then you're done. Then you're finished, right? So if list one's next is null, then you just make it as list two and you're done. So if list one's next is null, basically do I have to swap is the question, right? So if list one's next is null, or list one's next is greater than list two, or if in either of those two cases I want to do I want to do this, right? And once I do this, then what's the next thing to do? I have swapped the pointers. If they were small, if they was not small, then also everything is fine. I want to move list one step ahead. List one to list one dot next, which I should always be able to do because move to the next guy. Yeah. See how easy this is. Okay. And then return list one. This is where you got a problem. So you call head. Yeah. List node head equals to list one. Yeah. And then you return head. I don't call it easy problem. Well, I would at least call it medium, but okay. Okay, this is done. Run example test cases. And you got a Stack Overflow. Okay. And it's here itself. So you return merge to sorted lists. Maybe both null, which is a guess. Yeah, okay. Could be that both are null. If list one is null or list two is not null, and so I think this is what the one case that you missed is simply if list one is null and list two is null, then you have to return null. I guess you missed just that bit. Okay, or rather, I could make it slightly more simpler. If list one dot null or list two dot null, if any of the two lists are null, then you return right, and then you can forget about Just now you know both are non-null, right? So just do this. Let's see again if this makes things a bit clearer. No, it doesn't. Okay. Missed one step here. Excuse me. Okay. So, your example test cases. I'll submit. Null pointer exception. Cannot read field val because 2 is null. Let us see. So, while either of the two lists are non-null, well, if list itself is null, but list 2 is not null, like, can that ever happen? I would actually want to call this list1.next, but it goes here and it says so that means okay, so that means well because parameter is null. So which parameter is null? Either list1.next is null, but if list1.next was null, then it should have just got inside this if based on this itself, right? So it has to be list2. List2 has to be null, but list2 cannot be null. So I don't follow. What is this input? Okay, -9, 3, 5, and 7. Let's take this input and let's first obviously the answer is um, so -9, 3 is one list and 5, 7 is another list. Now obviously first you look -9 and 5. -9 is the smaller one, so you will be returning -9 undoubtedly. And now you're comparing 3 and 5, and 3 is smaller, so all good. So you 3. Now we are comparing null and 5. So null and 5 you're comparing, that means obviously you will make this as 5. Now you're considering 7 and null. But okay, at that point you can just break, right? So you break if while list2 is not equal to null, just to, I think just this uh, run. Okay, this works somehow, magic. All right, all good.